Web's era to the Voice Radio path seekers. It's time for Humanity 3.0. This show features stand-up philosophy combined with comedy, culture, science, and music, usually self-performed and produced using a genre that KRS-One coined called edutainment. Educating while entertaining. Host of this enlightening show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, Met D1, and myself, Dr. S.C. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, Met D2. I have the PH and he has the M. We both have D's. That makes us, y'all, Doc squared. Before I say anything more, I want to congratulate us on our wedding anniversary.
Hey, it was yesterday.
September 15th. I am not going to even tell you how many years this wonderful being and I have been together, because it has been, you would not believe me if I told you.
No, so. we don't even believe it when
we
say it.
We feel like we're not telling people the truth, but we're thankful. True. All right, today's show, the title of today's show is This America?
Huh? Okay. First, I want to say, hey, hip hop trio.
Yes.
What's up, Chicken?
Plus.
What's up, Chicken? Hey. We're doing some wonderful things coming up this coming Sunday. If you're anywhere near Griffin Park, you'll be able to catch a little slice of the hip hop trio.
Yes, Luke Easter Park is another name that people are used to hearing.
That's right.
Luke Easter Park.
Luke Easter Park. Kinsman and Martin Luther King.
That's right.
Okay. The Blessings of Slavery is doing very, very well. Our edutainment novel. The Lord Says the Same Many Ancestors Agree. It is already in Cleveland Public Library. We're going to be getting several book clubs to utilize The Blessings of Slavery. Yes. And I want to send out a thank you to Mick and Tamika Tate.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. We went to a birthday party for Tamika this past weekend. She had a wine and painting party where we drank all sorts of strange wines.
Yeah.
And we painted a picture, and acrylic on canvas, and we actually got them.
Beautiful. I wish we had so you all could see.
Sip and paint. Sip and paint. That's what she called it. That's what she called it. Sip and paint.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful, and we plan to do more of these suckers.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh, it was magnificent.
Their daughter catered the event.
My God.
Oh my God.
My God.
Woo! That girl is gifted.
Yes, she is. She got.
I should say that woman. She's not a girl. She's a young woman.
Yes, she is a young woman. I kind of find it hard to consider her like that, because when I met her, she was 8 years old. Yeah, she was an 8-year-old child when I met her, and I've been with her for the vast majority of her life.
Yeah. Ebony, she was a young lady that came to our show one day, very light-skinned, had a bunch of hair when we were over at the other site.
Right, she had a big fro.
Yeah.
And she talked like she knew what she was talking about, because she does. She's one of my students.
She knows.
Okay. Now, is this America? We're going to try to answer that question. But first, we want to talk a little bit about Breonna Taylor's $12 million. Her mother got $12 million, and they had some changes in the government of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm somewhat concerned about the government of any place in Kentucky, since my family comes from Kentucky. My father was born in a place called Grand Rivers that doesn't exist anymore. They put a lake over it. But that's where my kin is, in the state of Kentucky. And I went to University of Kentucky School of Medicine at Lexington, up on Rose Street. So they got changes in warrants, procedures, and police actions. Why do they have these changes? Why did they need to make changes in what they were doing? They needed to make changes because they didn't do what was best. And they didn't do what was best because they didn't understand what was best.
True.
They had no knowledge of it. This thing that is called best, no. That is not something that Europeans spend a whole lot of time messing with. To the opposite case, most Europeans and all those who listen to Europeans have been lied to about what was best. You've been lied to about history, biology, sociology, and understanding. Understanding, huh? That was what those cops needed to have, an understanding about what they were doing. Who's taught understanding these days in America? Do you know that the subject of understanding is called rhetoric? You ever took a class in rhetoric? Then you have not been taught understanding. Rhetoric is a tool or aspect of philosophy. And philosophy is, as we know, the science of thinking. How do you think? It teaches you how to derive meaning from thinking. Rhetoric. Rhetoric is described as the art of effective or persuasive writing or speaking. Though the definition of rhetoric is the study and uses of written, spoken, and visual language. Very important to use visual language, because visual language is spiritual language. Visual language is about images that have meaning. It investigates how language is used to organize and maintain social groups, construct meanings and identities, coordinate behavior, mediate power, produce change, and create knowledge. Sounds like rhetoric would be important if anybody really wanted to live a life that was based on understanding, meaning, logic, or any of those things. Was rhetoric taught to Europeans? You may wonder. Since those are the cultures and civilizations that we are primarily following, the answer is a confusing no and yes. No, for the vast majority of English, French, German, Russian, Poles, Spaniards, Portuguese, or Dutch. Europe had greater than 50% illiteracy rate until the 20th century. Let me say that again.
Listen.
Let me say that again, because I want everybody to listen. That means make pictures out of the words that are coming out of my mouth. Europe had greater than 50% illiteracy. More than half of Europeans could not read or write until the 20th century. We just now left the 20th century a few years ago. We just now got in the 21st century. Most Europeans could not read or write until just about now. I was shocked when I saw that statistic. But Europe had no written language until the Romans gave them what the Phoenicians gave them. The Phoenicians, another Alkebulanese group from Alkebulan, they gave the Greek and the Romans the alphabet that we use now. But that was the no. Now, the answer to was rhetoric taught to Europeans as yes, ha-ha! Yes, it was taught to the leaders of the Roman Catholic Church. Priests were taught homilies, sermons, philosophies, arguments, which necessitates an understanding of rhetoric, or another way to say they had to be taught to understand understanding. But they were the only ones. Rhetoric is the art of persuasion, which along with grammar and logic is one of the three ancient arts of discourse taught to the Greeks by Kemetic scholars like Imhotep. I had to take a Hippocratic oath to be a doctor, but Hippocrates and other famous Greeks all have more than openly admitted that they learned everything they learned from Alkebulanese scholars from Kemet and Timbuktu and other places. All of the Greek learned men openly gave appreciation and understanding that all that they learned from these black people. who lived in this place called Alkebulan. They also called it Africa. Aristotle, one of those Greeks, called rhetoric a combination of the science of logic and the ethical branch of politics. They even wrote a pyramid that had in the three corners of the triangle, at the top, ethos. At the left side, pathos. On the right side, logos. Logos is knowledge. Pathos is feeling. Ethos is understanding. Logos refers to your content. Pathos refers to the audience. And ethos refers to the writer. Confusing a little bit, isn't it? But it was even more confusing to the Greeks who heard this stuff from the Alkebulanese, because these Greeks had just been around for about 20,000 years, while the Alkebulanese they were learning from had been around for about 250,000 years. Learning what had been around that long was a struggle. It was a real problem for many people, especially the Europeans who had no basis for understanding a lot of the things that were being taught them. They didn't want to sit there and have all of these dark people explain things to them that they couldn't understand. They wanted to just get away, and a lot of them did just that. They wanted to just fly away from the ignorance and stupidity that they were shown to be influenced by. They did not want to be ignorant. They did not want to be stupid. They did not want to be who they were. They just wanted to take this whole reality and fly away.
Yes.
Okay, Jeremy Smith, commonly known by many other names, came up with a song that had that same title, Fly Away. It had Humble G, his brother.
Dejan Queen, Humble G's wife. It's on Fly Away. Oh, I made a mistake.
No, what's my nephew's name?
Tootie.
No. My,
Pat?
no. My,
Utra?
no. Weaver. Darnell
Yeah.
Weaver is on this. Come on, it's called Fly Away. Listen to the song.
Yeah.
We forget all this.
Yeah. You ever thought about just flying away to a better place? See things through my glasses. My life is massive, but I'm still trying to drop classics. My life story.
Tell me if you see, tell me if you see best, tell me if you see best, where we could be, who will become to be number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let's fly.
Fly away. Let's fly away.
Yeah.
To our destiny. And be who we'll be.
Yeah. Okay. All I needed was some existence and some of the fans to listen, to make sure that he is fitting the legacy that was written. My mind was unfold and my talent controlled to figure out all my goals and the truth to be told. I seen friends turn to enemies when they start sipping, subliminal messages thrown out when they start dissing. I'm wise, I never lash out when they start tripping. I just dismiss myself when they started acting different, and that's life. No dreams but reality when you figure that liquor bring they true personality. Table turn, bridges burn, and you live and learn. Success is something that you have to earn, cause I'm a lyrical catastrophe. All these haters try to laugh at me, but jealousy and hate, it helps me with my strategy. Massive when it come to streets, classic when it come to beats. Pay attention, you'll see my vision stronger than astronomy. Ignorant people better think reologically. I be spitting that ether, so realness follows me. Pass me that success, I'ma take it to the head. Only messing with real brothers that be breaking the bread. So haters, stop it, you ain't got what it takes to hold the profit. Only talk about the dreams, that's why it stays in your noggin. I'm gonna keep it 100. See the cash, then I'm gunning. Show these other little dudes I ain't frontin', I'm straight stuntin'.
Let's fly away. Let's fly away. Let's fly away. Let's go home. Let's fly away to our destiny. You never know. You never know. But in the meantime, and it's funny how time passes, and yet a sneak back around and harm you. Or greet you with success is just depending on your karma. Did you wish bad on the ones who crossed you? Or did you take it to the chin? Like that necessary lesson you needed the boss up? Or maybe you understand it's just enough to feel you earned it, but without the time to practice it, boy, how you gon' learn it? That's straight logic. Y'all need to go and seek some knowledge. I ain't out here acting prolific, even though they want them toxic for life. Menace to society. They love it when we claim that rep, but do some homework, boys. Cause honestly, in they society, what they said, he ain't even a threat. That's why I play my position, and I stay in my lane. And I'ma need some of that fame, just to change some things. For the better, I'm hoping. No foolishness, nothing set in stone, but I'm just trying to keep some grace for my focus. But yesterday, but we were living high. You were invited, but you ain't answered, baby. You would have liked it. I know you so well. You like to
Fly
fly.
away. Yeah. Can't help but sing with that, right,
Yeah.
y'all? We are here for you to understand you, learn you, so you can live you, be you, your best you. Come test your own understanding, relax, and quest you, for you are the best you have ever been. Nah, I mean, know what I mean? This you.
Y.O.U. stands for your own understanding. And you are most definitely the best you there has ever been.
Yes.
Okay. I had given you a whole bunch of stuff about rhetoric. I had given you an understanding that I derived of rhetoric from the philosophies of the ancient Greeks that was given to them by the ancient Alkebulanese scholars of Kemet and other places. But why is that so important? Well, I told you some time ago that I learned from Dr. David Whitaker, what, so what, now what?
Yeah.
What, you outline a problem. So what, you say why it's a problem or what's important about it. And now what you need to do about the problem you just outlined. I just gave you the what. Now, here's the so what. We've been misled about humanity. We've been misled about what is humanity, how they function, who should understand, what is there to understand. We have been misled by Europeans because they are not humanity. They are not. They are a genetic cross between Neanderthals, Denisovans, and humans that left Alkebulan. In the Denisova cave in the Altai Mountains in Russia, they found these humanoids that they found out through genetic evaluation were not Homo sapiens sapiens. They were another branch of humans. And those are the branch of humans that Europeans are part of. We aren't Homo sapiens either. Believe it or not. Why? Because we are the American super hybrid that God has been trying to produce for about 60 or 70,000 years. We are a combination of all of the species, all of the people, all of the cultures on this planet. And as such, we are what the Christian Judeo-Islamic Akan deity was trying to create for ever. I know 3 things about God, this Christian Judeo-Islamic deity. Number 1, I ain't them. And I say them because God always refers to himself in the Christian Judeo book known as the Bible as plural.
Yes.
Let us, we.
Yes.
That was always what God said in reference to her/himself.
Yes, and the Quran as well.
Yes, we. Number 1, I ain't them. Number 2, they don't need me for jack.
True.
Number 3, they are scientists. Specifically, a scientist called a geneticist. Geneticists create life. Geneticists separate species. And that's what the Most High did in the first interaction with men, was separate them and tell them to be different. There was this guy named Abram that he changed his name to Abraham. He said, I'm going to bless you and make you a great nation, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. This was making the children of Israel. Abraham was the father of the children of Israel and the Islamic humanity. Okay, question. What color was Abraham?
Good question.
What color was he? What race was he? Let me give you a hint. He was not pink. There were no pink people on this planet till after the flood. So Abraham could not have been anything close to pink. He was like all the rest of the people. He came from a long line of Alkebulanese ancestors. Terah of Ur of the Chaldees was his father. Terah, his father, came from Noah's son Shem. Remember, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth? The other sons? Okay. Abram, called Abraham later, was not pink. Nobody was. Why was color important? Because at that time and since then, lack of color indicates something that is weak, something that is stupid, something that is diseased. And I'm not talking about human being, I'm talking about anything that is alive. I'm talking about dogs, cats, mice, whales, porpoises, flowers, trees, plants. It doesn't make any difference. Anything that is alive that has less color than other things of its type is thought to be and said to be genetically inferior, weak, stupid, diseased. Again, this goes for anything. It is just what living things use to provide hints as to who their mates should be. Why do you think birds have all this brilliant, bright color? Why do you think trees have all these bright colored flowers? Why do you think plants have flowers brightly colored? to attract things so that they can get their genetic consequences. That means pass on their genes. Color, and especially intensity of color, has always been used to illustrate strength, ability, power, health. Shall all of the families of earth be blessed by a pink person? No, that wasn't God's plan. God made Alkebulanese. God never made pink people to exist. He allowed them to exist. But pink people were allowed to exist 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. God made us, our ancestors, and Alkebulanese people 300,000 to 400,000 years ago. Okay. I got this thing in here that's about God making people. God made the first people, according to that Christian Judeo book called the Bible, in a place called Garden of Eden. There was a river that watered the garden, and it went out of Eden and divided into 4 heads. The first head was called Pison, and it encompasses Havilah, where there is gold, bdellium, and onyx. The only place where on this planet there is gold, bdellium, and onyx is South Africa. The second river was called Gihon, and it encompassed the whole of Ethiopia. The third river was Hiddekel, and that went towards the east of Assyria. The last river was the Euphrates, again with the Tigris dead in the middle of the Middle East. Why are these rivers important? Because all of these rivers have their basis in a place called Alkebulan. The only people who are in Alkebulan at this time, and again for about another 200,000 or 300,000 years, were Alkebulanese. They were dark, pigmented people. Those were the only people on the planet. Any Europeans? Huh? Any? No, not for another 100 to 200,000 years. They're not alive yet. They're not important. They're not significant. They are not godly influenced beings. They are not mentioned except as oppressors, opponents, and victims of God's chosen people. These are beings that are not human. We call them humano because they do not evidence any of the humanistic principles that God put in human beings to make them godly. Sympathy, empathy, faith, grace, all of those godly characteristics and qualities are not found in humano individuals in very high levels. As a result, they lack humanistic qualities. They only have humano ones. Okay. We got a song. It's actually by Dragon Bone Man.
Yeah.
It's called Human. No, we changed it because what he describes is not human. What he describes is humano. He describes pig people. Listen to us and see if you don't agree. Humano.
Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this and see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on
Humano.
Don't put your blame on
Humano.
Take a look in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see it clearer, or you deceive in what you believe. 'Cause I'm only human after all, and you're only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Some people got the real problem. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve them. Lord heavens above, I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Don't ask my opinion, don't ask me to lie, and beg for forgiveness for making you cry, for making you cry. 'Cause I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Some people got the real problem. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve them. Lord heavens above, I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. I'm only human. Made mistakes. I'm only human. That's all it takes to put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. I'm only human. I do what I can. I'm just a man. I do what I can. Don't put the
Just
blame on me.
human, no.
Don't put your blame on me.
All right. I want to say, repeat a proverb that we've been sharing with you all. And it goes like this. The one who asks question doesn't lose his or her way. Yes. Continue
Absolutely.
to quest.
Continue to quest, continue to question. Abraham, he went south into first the land of the Canaanites, another group of Alkebulanese. They were dark-skinned people, like everybody in this Judeo-Christian book called the Bible. The only Europeans ever mentioned in the Bible are Greeks and Romans. Every other person in the Bible is not European. They're not even close to European. They are Alkebulanese.
See that. Listen to it. Yes.
Straight up. Especially Old Testament. These are tens and twenties and hundreds of thousands of years before there was ever any European, period. Okay, Abraham went south in the land of the Canaanites. Then after famine struck, he went on to Egypt. Again, Canaanites, Egyptians, almost everybody, all Alkebulanese. Abraham got in trouble in Egypt with Pharaoh, who wanted to freak out with his wife Sarah. But he found out that Sarah was indeed Abram's wife, not his sister. Now, read the section in the Bible, because I read it before I came here today, and I was shocked to find out that the Pharaoh freaked with Sarah for quite some time before he found out that she was the wife of Abram. Read it, and you will find out for yourself. Pharaoh felt guilt and shame, gave Abraham a whole bunch of livestock and gold and silver. He actually set him up. Abram actually pimped his wife to Pharaoh. And they thought of this long before they ever got there. Abram discussed this with his wife Sarah, what he was going to do. Okay. So, I gave you what? I gave you so what right now. We've been following non-humans to develop our humanity. Don't sound like good sense to me. Our first move should be to decide our goal. So we can understand, there's that word or concept again, understand. When we arrive there, we need to establish our goal. Not pink people. Why would we listen to the most ignorant human beings on the planet? You do not believe that that is a true statement? Look at our president and the 38% of this country who elected him, who thought a lying, ignorant, stupid person would be a good leader. Unfortunately, pink people are used to being led by lying, ignorant, stupid people. Don't believe me? Look at their own history. Look at their own sociology. Look at their own culture. Okay. We will never arrive at our destination by following the directions of a group that is lost and wants to stay that way. You must at least listen to the man who trained European leaders to lead. His name was Machiavelli, and he wrote the political manual for European leaders called The Prince. And it starts out with the statement, if we worry about what we should be, we will lose the power to control what we are. This basically says we are not what we should be, but what we should be is not as important as having power and control over what we are. This is the man who trained almost all European leaders from about the 12th century on. Every ruler, politician, courtier read and memorized Machiavelli's The Prince and have been using it ever since to control their government and their people. One of the major things about Machiavelli's plans, other than the fact that he didn't give a rat's butt about what he should be, was that ignorance was one of his greatest tools. You cannot lead somebody who is smarter than you. You shouldn't be able to anyway. You cannot lie to somebody who understands reality. Machiavelli's instructions to all European leaders was to first keep your people ignorant. You can't let them know very much or they will not follow you. And this has been an ongoing European trait since then. That's why they were illiterate up until the 20th century. It wasn't an accident. It was on purpose. Okay. The statement that was made by Machiavelli basically says we are not what we should be, but what we should be is not as important as having power and control over what we are. Europeans have little historical interest in what mankind should be. Europeans have had almost no interest in elevating mankind to its higher reaches of abilities. None. They have been primarily concerned with living, just being alive. Unfortunately, this robs mankind of all of those things that we consider to be his higher abilities. This robs him of faith. This robs him of a whole bunch of spiritual understanding. This robs him of everything that mankind could enable itself to be. Because Machiavelli is teaching people not to enable others, not to empathize with others, not to assist others, and not be concerned about others. One of the major reasons America is held up as a symbol of what a country should be is the abandonment of Europe's pessimism and lack of higher ideals for its nation and its people. That's the so what. Here comes the now what. Now what? Visualize the fact that America's goal has always been to create a nation based on non-European ideals, goals, and destinations. This nation was set up not to imitate Europe, but to serve as an alternative to the ways that Europeans lived and were governed. There was no democracies in Europe, even though France tried to set one up through Napoleon many years ago. There was no government of the people, for the people, and by the people in Europe. That was not a European ideal. European ideals were follow the king. And we don't care if the king is screwing his sister, his aunt, and his own daughter. Because that's what kings and princes and royalties do. They got to make sure the blood stays pure, and the blood stays strong, and the blood stays undivided. That is not only ignorant as hell, it shows absolutely no understanding of biology or science. It's stupid to the degree that using these techniques, Europeans start producing kings, queens, princes, and dukes that had all of these inbred diseases, and many of them were insane, out of their minds. That was something Europeans got used to. That's why we have lying 44.5, our special needs president, at this particular point in time. His name, Donald John Drumpf. That was his original name. He changed it, or it was his grandfather changed it. His name was Drumpf. Okay, but when you throw away all that European stuff and you open yourself up to these other ideas, you're not trying to make people free. You're trying to take them to the other side of freedom. Global Entertainment's got a song all about it. Henny Hen from way back when, along with all the rest of Global, they're singing this song called The Other Side of Freedom.
Listen.
Peace it out.
As I begin my journey home, I travel down this lonely road. And when I think of all I've seen, my spirit starts to bother me. Now I don't know who to try. And when I felt like giving up, the light at the end of the tunnel just gets brighter and brighter. 'Cause I'm free. 'Cause I'm free. Free from the pressure. Yeah. You may have my body, but you cannot control my soul. 'Cause I'm free. You can't harm me no more. You must let me go. Free your mind and the rest will fall out. Now I'm living for a brighter tomorrow. Yeah, I'm finally free. I'm on my feet to do what I want, to be who I please, and that's to be me. And it's why we free. Yeah, it's why we free. Why we free. Why we free. Check. I was rolling down the street and I'm hearing no sirens, no hatred, just peace. Cause where I'm from, you see, the police beat on the ones that look like me. And now I'm happy to be finally free from this brutality. That's what I will. Now we're finally free. Finally the day has come, the one I've been waiting for, one I've been dreaming about. I'm walking through that open door, I'm starting to smell the fresh air, the leaves blowing in the breeze. I wanna go down and kiss the ground and let them see me on my knees. Man, my body feel kinda heavy and my spirit done left this place. Keeping me captive in your prison, you can't take my time and space. Take this journey while I'm with you, and I promise we gon' fly. Take my hand and stay together, cause we on the other side. On the other side of freedom, can't you hear me when I soar? Got the wind beneath my wings, now can't you hear me when I roar? Screaming freedom, 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 freedom.
Quest with us. This is Humanity 3.0 with VoiceItRadio.com.
Okie doke, y'all. Time to wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up right about now. Our nation motto is an example of the principle that we are supposed to be operating under. It is the principle that is not European. It is a principle that is not limited by the understanding and knowledge that Europeans have. That motto is E pluribus unum. Thank you, Miss Temple, for teaching me Latin when I was in Sumner. Oh, oh my goodness! Wow.
So
yeah.
What's up?
I don't know what I do. Did I knock that over there? I must have. Okay. Well, let me put it back over here. Now, okay. E pluribus unum. And that stands for from many, one. E, from, pluribus. That's where we get the word plural. Many, unum, one, unity. From many nations, from many peoples, from many origins, one nation, one origin, one people. Is that what our goal is to be? That is the motto of the United States of America. Don't believe me? Look on the dollar bill. That should be the guiding principle that leads this nation in making all decisions. From many, one. Is that one nation or that one people supposed to be pink? No, can't be. Impossible. Because pink is recessive. And when you mix pink with Asian, what comes out is Asian. When you mix pink with Hispanic, what comes out is Hispanic. When you mix pink with Alkebulanese, what comes out is Alkebulanese. Pink disappears, thank you, Lord, when it is mixed with other races. That's what a recessive or weak genetic inheritance does. As I explained to you before, this is not my opinion. This is biology.
Right.
This is genetics. This is science. This is what is. Pink people don't want to be that. They don't want to be pink people. I understand that. I don't want to be pink either. But their donation to the many nations, many people, and many origins is absolutely essential to their becoming an American people. We are part of that American people, but we must always visualize that America, not the America that pink people want us to create, because that is not America. The America that our motto dictates, the America that our people die to preserve and produce, no, that's led by Alkebulanese. That's led by hybrids. That's led by people who represent this E pluribus unum. That unum is us. That unum can't be ever pink. All right. We through.
Yeah.
We want to give you an invitation to come join us for classes or to buy The Blessings of Slavery.
Yes.
We will send it to you if you give us a call. Area code 216-375-2742. Until then, y'all, we're going to tell you like we always do.
Yeah.
Peace, which stands for proper education always corrects error. And we're going to give you some hope to go home with. We're going to give you a global entertainment artist, Humble G the Fiddler. Spread that hope.
Continue to quest.
Peace.
Mike, yeah,
I'm straight to the business, paving the way on my own lane with the missing pieces of this missing cylinder, and they all catching feelings. By the way that I do it, it's stated so clear when I spit it, then sink it, then play it. The way that I execute it, no rapper can come near. That wasn't humble, no, that was the fiddler just talking. All this convo about how the game is and needed some change. Then right, I must fuck it. Now why he so gnarly, thinking that he can do what? He might be retarded. Rest in peace to the dearly departed. I'm killing this game and I'm just getting started. Hey! That DNA, level C, that's where I'm at. Real hip hop, I'ma bring it back with this hip hope, and I'm stating facts. Who we think he is? He done found a way to make dividends while being an example for the kids and spreading hope to the citizen.
Gotta spread that hope. Every time I go, I'll step outside, it's like it's all a show. But it's never for the show, cause we gotta get this dough. But our kids gon' watch them kids be watching, they just wanna grow. So we gotta show them hope. So we gotta spread that hope. Gotta spread that, gotta spread that, gotta spread that hope. Gotta spread that hope. Gotta spread that hope. Gotta spread that, gotta spread that, gotta spread that hope. Gotta spread that hope.
One for the people who believe in God. Two for the folks who struggling. Three for my people who be living high. No matter what the repercussions is, cause they know that we gotta keep the hope alive. Keep it alive for the children. Not about the ticket, cause it's all about the giving. Do it like Mike, cause we care about the living. that boy hot, innovative, them boys not. How dare you compare yourselves to legends like Big and Pac? What a sad story, content's real boring. Never name dropping, cause I'm never that corny. Take it how you wanna, I'm straight from the land of the heartless. You know we gon' turn up, spit the flame like the fingers. Look up to the roof and you know we gon' let that boy burn up. I'm going in, straight for the win. Never a joke, getting that dough while I'm spreading this hope. So, God is spreading.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
For having us on your mind.